Hi, and welcome to Learning How to Play the Piano Very Simply. I'm Lisa Mitz, and for those of you who don't know me, I'm so excited that you clicked on my free video. I'm excited because this is just the beginning of things that I want to share with you, and really tools that are going to make a huge impact, not just in your ability to play the piano, but the effects of playing the piano. So let me just start with a little bit of story of my background. For those of you who don't know me, I was basically what I call raised on the piano. From the time I was 6 years old, my parents gave me classical piano lessons. And I learned how to play all my scales and chords and, did my piano recitals. And eventually, by the time I was a senior in high school, I was playing in front of juries and went on to the University of Florida to study music. And after my first year of studying to become a concert pianist, I discovered that, I really didn't want to do that professionally. Plus, I was spending hours and hours practicing. And so I decided to move into broadcasting and journalism, writing, and actually kept my music as something that was really a passion that I loved to do, but kind of put it a little bit on hold and went on and got married, and life took its course, and I had 4 children. And actually, it wasn't until my first son, my oldest son, was about 6 or 7 years old that it was like the desire to rekindle, refire inside of me, my passion for music came alive, because I wanted to pass that on to him. I could see that he had some desire to play and to learn, and so we started a little bit with violin for him, but quickly moved over to the piano. What I was astounded by is, after years, I've been now professionally writing music and recording for many years, 14 years, and I had no idea until the last month, really, that I began to do some research. I had heard about the effects of learning how to play the piano and the effects of that both in children and in elderly people on the brain health, and how learning to not just play an instrument, but actually learning to play the piano had profound effects in these areas. And so I got so excited about that. I thought, oh my goodness, here I am, having a musician, having studied music, played music. I always knew that I had certain areas that kind of came quicker to me in my ability to pick things up, and different things that probably had to do with cognitive and brain development. But I had no idea that it was related scientifically, research-wise, to learning how to play the piano. And so I'm going to share with you some things in this video. We're going to get to, by the end of the video, I'm going to show you how simple it is to learn how to play just a scale, and eventually how just that scale and those chords are going to lead to playing a song. I'm going to teach you over the next few videos, actually, which are all my gift to you. I'm going to show you not just how to have fun at playing the piano, but also how this is going to help you in your health, whether it's, whether you're maybe a young parent and you've got young children at home, how it's going to help your kids develop and grow and do better in school, whether it's emotionally. They've actually had proof. I just was reading again today how this even helps with ADHD children. I'm going to share with you how it's going to affect the way that your brain actually develops. I'm also going to share with you whether you're over 50, 60, 70, and you might have had the thought, it is too late for me. I never learned how to play an instrument. Why bother? No, I'm going to show you how actually even playing a few minutes every day and learning to develop that skill of playing is going to make a huge impact in the quality of your life, and how science has shown that it actually, they have proven that even elderly people who have learned to play the piano have less chance of getting dementia, of Alzheimer's, that they have better brain health, that they've actually proven this over and over again in multiple studies. And so I'm so excited to be sharing with you what has been, available for many, but many people don't know. So with that, we're gonna get started. I just want to show you a little bit here as we get ready to go. You can see in the background here, I have my baby grand piano, and then I also have a keyboard. And so I'm going to teach you today from the keyboard. Obviously, if you've never played piano before and you don't even have a piano or a keyboard, I want to encourage you to just get a keyboard. You can pick one up, a used one. You can find them on Craigslist. You can go on Amazon. This beautiful brand new keyboard was just a little over $300. You can find one that's not even as big. I do prefer that you have an 88 weighted keyboard if you can, but even if you have a smaller one, you can pick one up for so inexpensive today, for the price of what you might pay for a nice dinner out. So I really encourage you to do that. And with that, we're going to go ahead and get started. Hi everybody, so here we are again at the piano, and hopefully now you are also sitting at your piano, or you can be standing at your keyboard. Like I said, a keyboard is a wonderful tool that you can actually take with you, and once you've learned to play, you might be in demand for that. You might be the one in your family event that people are saying, would you bring your keyboard so we can have some fun and get some music? Maybe you're the one that's gonna play happy birthday at the parties or whatever, but in any case, you should have your keyboard ready to go. This is an Alesis. I like this one because it's so simple to take. It also has super simple options on it for different sounds. I love a Yamaha. I've had Korgs. I love more of the fancy pianos for doing big shows and big events, but for something at home, this is very, very simple and easy. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you kind of an orientation to the keyboard or to the piano. And so we're going to start with just looking down here, and as you notice, you have white keys and black keys, right? And so, a lot of people might think, well, that's just cool how it looks. There's such a neat look and feel to the piano keys, but why did they actually put black keys there, right? Because truthfully, you could have just kept them either all white or all black, but why are there raised black keys here on the keyboard? And so what we want to notice is that there are, if you can see, with the exception of this one down here, there's 2, 3, 2, 3. And if you see that pattern all the way up, you'll see it continue all the way through to the end up here. This is because it's going to be almost like a marker, a delineation of where you are at all times on the keyboard. Because the truth is that even though there's 88 keys, there's only 8 specific notes at any given time on the keyboard. It's just what we call an octave, and it's just repeated over and over and over again. So these black notes, as you'll see in a little bit, actually just are markers. They are notes in and of themselves, but they will show you where you are at any given time. So that lowest note down here begins with an A. Just like in the alphabet, we start with what? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. So the same thing is true for here. We're going to start with A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, right? Now, if we continued that up, you would just be repeating that all the way through to the end, and you end on a C, as high, very, very high C up here. Then what we're going to see is, so if we can move on up and we land right here, this is what we call middle C, you can probably see that there's the two black notes here are showing that anytime you see the two black notes, the note right below that first one is a C at all times. So where else would we find a C? We would find one here, right? And we would find one here. And we would find one up here. Here's another C. And we would find one here. All the way through. So you can see that. Very simple to find. Anytime you see that two black notes there and you take what we call a half step down, that is middle C. In the same way, here, these three notes here, anytime you find this first of the tri notes of the three black notes and you fall a half step down, that's going to be your F note. So you have one here is your F, here's another three, here's another F, here's another F, okay? So it's the same pattern all the way through the keyboard. So if we were to start again here on middle C, and knowing that the keyboard starts A, B, C, so here would be your A, B, C, but I'm going to start on the C as our C scale because C scale is your easiest scale. C scale and A minor, which we'll also be learning later on. But for this video, I'm just going to teach you a basic to show you how easy it is for you to just learn how to play a C scale and a chord. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with our first finger on the C, and we're just going to go up the scale. And then we're going to take our first finger under on the F, G, A, B, C. So we're going to do that again. Let's try that again. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Okay? So as you're trying that and you're doing that, you are playing a scale. And you can also start going down the scale. So if you start on the C note again with your pinky, you're just going to walk down the stairs, okay? C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. And that's how we begin with learning the C scale. Now, the C scale is so important, like I said, because it's basically going to be your easiest scale. It's going to also be in many different songs. And one of the things that eventually you can get to down the road, if you stick with me a little bit, is to learn how to even play things that you hear by ear, right? And so you're going to be able to, once you know the C scale, you're going to be able to navigate to a lot of other chords and scales because it's going to almost be like an anchor point for you. Now, I want to also just make one little point about, I know that I'm gearing these videos, by the way, this particular one, if you've never played the piano, if you've never touched the piano. For those of you who maybe have played a little bit of piano, you have a little bit of music background, that's great. Hang with me, stick with me, because I'm going to show you some other things down the road. But for now, we want to stick to the basics. So now we have, what I'm going to teach you is the C chord. And the C chord is basically C, E, G, or what we call 1, 3, 5. It's your major chord. And that is part of learning also about how to play songs. You're going to do it in a chord fashion. I mean, you're going to learn also, we're going to teach how to play notes and how to read music eventually. But for now, it's very simple how to learn to hear the chord structure. It's also good for that brain development that I was talking about, to learn how to take a scale, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, and then do the 1, 3, 5 together in a chord. See, that's your C chord. You can even put a low C in there with you, and to make it a little bit of a bass sound, like that. So that is the first part of learning how to play the piano, is learning how to play a scale. Now, one of the beautiful things about this is, about playing the piano versus any other instrument, is the reason why it's so amazing for your brain development, also preventing less chance of Alzheimer's, dementia, more cognitive, connections in that way, is because you have to be ambidextrous in playing the piano more than any other instrument. I mean, guitar is predominantly left-handed, where you're strumming with your right, and it has some level of that, but nothing like compared to the piano, where you're actually playing together. So as my last part of this video, I just want to show you how playing together will also cause greater brain activity and health and awareness, and being able to think quicker, okay? So we're going to start in the left hand, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. And so if we do that together, you can see how both the left hand and the right hand are working in unison. Now, don't worry about the fingering and everything else, where you might feel like, oh my goodness, I'm not quite getting that yet. That's okay. This is just an introductory lesson. Here's what I want to leave you with. I have another lesson to give to you. So what I'm going to offer for you is, if you will just respond here and say, yes, I loved learning. You can write it right below in the comment section here where the video is. If you've already signed up for my email list, then don't worry about it. You're going to get the next lessons free. If you haven't, just let me know. You can opt in right there. I will. You should have already gotten that in the email, and I'm going to go ahead and send you another free lesson. In fact, I'm going to send you another few free lessons, so that you can begin to see how simple it is to learn how to play the piano.